guys, welcome back to my channel. So if you are new here, you are welcome. Please do not leave without subscribing if you are new, and if you are an old subscriber returning back, thank you guys. I do appreciate your support. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about my experience with nausea and vomiting during my pregnancy. Among all the pregnancy symptoms, that was the worst of it. Like, I usually hear that it's when you're pregnant with a female child, that's when you tend to experience more of nausea, more of vomiting. No. Those who say that, you guys don't know what you are saying. Like my experience. So I'm going to be sharing with you in this video how I coped throughout the 9 months with nausea and vomiting on a daily. Yeah, so the experience was something else, so stay tuned. So during my pregnancy, even before I went for my first antenatal visit, I was already vomiting. The nausea and vomiting from the first day, like before I even knew I was pregnant. The nausea and vomiting, they were on another level. It was so bad, like, but I was still managing to cope. It was not as bad as hyperemesis gravidarum, like that case, because for some people they can't even eat at all. But with the help of my midwife, we were able to manage it, and I followed strictly the advice she gave me. I did lots of research as well on how to cope on a daily. I was on the internet researching because the experience was not funny. It wasn't funny, guys. So I'm going to share these tips so that if you have similar experience, it could be beneficial to you, or you could pick one or two from my experience. There was no day I will not vomit, I will not throw up, except I don't brush up. But that was one of the triggers. Toothpaste was my worst trigger. There were days I will not use toothpaste. I will just use maybe salt to brush up, and even the salt will still trigger it. Like, it was just something. Like, usually I will brush up like twice a day, but with the pregnancy, sometimes I will just not brush for the fear of throwing up. Like, it was so bad that even an empty toothbrush without any paste on it or any salt or anything will still trigger. Even without anything, like every morning, and it was more common in the mornings. I started antenatal at when I was 9 weeks pregnant. By then I was already dropping. I was not coping. So I started antenatal. My midwife, she suggested to me, she advised me on some tips. Like, she said I should eat small meals. So instead of 3 square meals a day, I should eat about 6 meals. So I should eat very little food, like that. I should avoid spicy food totally. I should, like, she mentioned tips like this that could help, but they did not help me at all. Oh. Like my case, my 9 weeks visit for antenatal, I thought I could cope with following the tips my midwife had given me, but those tips were not working for me. I had to get along to go across to her. She gave me a contact for any reach out. So I had to get across to her barely few days after that for her to recommend something else, because the tips were not working. Spicy food or not, I was throwing up. The nausea was on another level. The spitting, all of those were on another level, because my friend who had recently put to birth kept advising me on some stuffs. She will also give me her own tips she followed during her pregnancy, all of that. Don't eat this, do like this, eat more pepper, do this, do that. All those things were not working for me. Just throwing up every day. So my midwife, she prescribed one medication for me, Vomino. She told me to take it on days that I feel more more nausea or vomiting, I can take twice a day per tap, 1 tablet. Initially, from the beginning, I was coping with 1 tablet a day. I will not just take it. I always take it like when necessary. Yeah, not like I was just taking it and taking, because all of those medications, if it's during pregnancy, if they are not supplements, if they can be avoided, the better. So on my own, what I did was to avoid things that triggered the nausea and vomiting. I avoided things like that, on any food that triggers that. I remember cooking some pots of food, and I'll just keep it for my husband to eat until it gets finished. Things that triggered me, I'll just avoid them. So one best tip is to avoid what you have noticed that triggers you. Just avoid it. If it's doing brushing, toothpaste, all of that, just try to minimize the quantity of toothpaste you use. Or if you can avoid it totally, and if salt works for you or any other stuff to brush up, if it works for you, you can use. Yeah, just to basically avoid what triggers you. Avoid eating what triggers you. If I ate anything without brushing up, I was throwing up. So if you know that is your case, if you are like me back then, if you cannot eat anything without brushing up, then first you need to brush up before eating anything. Or even bare water. There were times that just water. Some days I will not eat for a very long time, and then just water triggered it. So it's just to understand your system, know what works for you, because it's a long journey. 9 months is a long journey, and I believe that with time you get to know how to cope with every situation you go through. Like that, you get to know how to cope. You develop coping strategies over time. So even with the medicine she prescribed for me, it wasn't going away. It wasn't working. Like, it could work at the point, like the moment I took the drug, it could work, but barely few hours afterwards, it's like I didn't take any medicine. So I could not be taking overdose of such medication during pregnancy, because it's not even advisable to overload some drugs, like take drugs that are not supplements, prenatal supplements during your pregnancy. It's not advisable to take those drugs. Like, you not just have a headache and just rush and take Panadol. No. So those I prescribed, I could take twice a day if the case became worse, or I still try to maintain it. She told me it's advisable to take once a day, but if the case became worse, I could take twice a day. So I did my best to always try to take it just once a day. Only in 10th trimester, I was no longer coping with it. In 10th trimester, I could not. Once a day was not working. So I had to continue. I had to stick to what she had earlier advised. She said I can take twice a day. Despite me taking twice a day this medication, still it was not working. So this medicine is not like I'm coming here to prescribe anything for anyone, like just buy a medicine. It's not good to take self-prescribed medications, right? Whether with pregnancy or not pregnancy, it's not good to take self-prescribed medications. So I'm not just, this is disclaimer, I'm not advising anyone to go get this medication because it was prescribed for me. No, you should consult your own midwife, or so that she can prescribe your own medication if you are going through similar case. But it's always good to do research as well before taking any drug like that, because it was really bad. And I kept wondering, that's why before my first scan I had already believed it was a baby girl, but I was surprised to hear that it was a baby boy. I only believed when I was already like 22 weeks and I could see the genitals in the ultrasound scan. When I could see, that's when I believed. I didn't believe from the beginning when I was told you are carrying a boy. No, I didn't believe it, because the way I'm among those people who earlier believed that it's a baby girl that will trouble you with nausea and vomiting. No, that belief has left me. I'm no longer in that school of thoughts. It's not necessarily a baby girl. I believe any gender could. I don't really know the factors that trigger that, but I know as pregnancy advances with the baby development and the space decreases, yeah, your organs pushes up as your stomach becomes bigger, like towards the second and third trimester, your organs begin to pull up, squeeze themselves, all of that. The space reduces, you have more pressure in your chest area, your stomach also pushes up, so it's easier for hydrochloric acid to pull up, to come back. That's why heartburn is also common, and it's also easier for backflow of reflux of food. So that reflux coming up to the esophagus can always make you feel nauseous. What is supposed to be kept in your stomach is now pushing backward, so it can easily cause you make you nauseous. So but what causes it to be so early in pregnancy, like you're just 1 month pregnant, 2 months pregnant, already throwing up? With that, I just believe it's hormones. Yes, the progesterone hormone, which is so high during pregnancy, since it sustains the pregnancy, all of that. I think all of those hormones, for some people it's higher than others. Everyone experiences, everyone has the same hormones that sustain the pregnancy. For some people, they don't experience nausea. My friend told me she didn't throw up even once, and she had a baby girl. She didn't throw up even once. The experience is different for everyone. This is my story. This is how I was able to cope with by eating smaller meals frequently, like not staying hungry, because when I was hungry, I would throw up. If I overeat, I feel nauseous. If my stomach is empty, no food, I drink water on empty stomach, I'll throw up. So if you already understand these things, you know that if you early in the morning, I could not drink water early in the morning when my stomach is empty from the night. I've not yet brushed up like that. No, I could not drink water. So if you understand yourself already, you get to understand your system, you develop coping strategies, you know what works for you, and you stick to it. But the medicine also helped me a lot. The one my midwife prescribed for me, it also helped me a lot until the day I got into labor. I took that drug. Even while I was in labor at the hospital, that drug was in my bag, so I couldn't do without it. I bought it. I really patronized the pharmacy beside my my house. Like, I bought that drug, like lots of packs of it. So because the packet contains just 20 tablets, so that's just for 20 days. And if I was taking twice a day, that's just for 10 days, and I had to take it throughout 9 months. So I bought and bought and bought and bought, along the other many prenatal drugs I was taking. That is it for me, guys. So if you're pregnant and you're experiencing nausea and vomiting a whole lot, and you try to, maybe my tips can help you also, like trying to eat small meals, not overloading food at a go. Yeah, it could help, because if your stomach is not full, the reflux thing will not be as compared to when your stomach is full. So you can eat some more frequent meals. Try to understand yourself, know what triggers you, avoid it. If it's brushing up, toothpaste, all of those, like I mentioned earlier, that triggers you, you know how to avoid it, you minimize the usage. Yeah, so basically just food, if it's spicy food that irritates you, triggers you, you avoid it. The kind of some certain kinds of types of food, maybe you might develop some passion for what you like to eat. Stick to what you like to eat. What you don't like to eat, if you force it, will trigger you. So you definitely try to implement these coping strategies. And if it's beyond that, if you can't cope any longer with, if all the coping strategies are not working and you want to seek medical help, you can consult with your midwife and they'll prescribe your own vomiting medication. Don't just go and buy mine because I mentioned Vomino. Mine was Vomino, I took was Vomino. So you can consult and get yours prescribed. So with that said, guys, I'd like to end this video here. I hope my tips were helpful. So I might help someone out there. So thank you guys for watching to the end, and stay tuned till next time. I'll see you guys in my next video. Please do well to like, subscribe if you haven't, and leave a comment. Any requests, if you request for any video regarding health, skincare, lifestyle, like that, we're always here to help and do that. So till then, see you guys in my next video. Bye.